Yeah, I mean, it's also back to the role and the responsibility of a jury and the sacred responsibility that they have to carry out during their duties as a member of the jury. I want to bring in Andrew Weissmann, former FBI general counsel and a former senior member of the Mueller probe. He is now an MSNBC legal analyst. So, Andrew, what are your thoughts?
I'm less interested in the particulars of the case. This is a gun charge. The proof was overwhelming. I agree with your other panelists that it is rarely charged. In my experience, over 21 years at the department, I never saw this kind of case brought. It would normally be somebody who was a felon in possession of a gun that would be charged. I'm more interested in what it tells us about the rule of law in this country in two ways. One, the son of the sitting president was pretty quickly tried. He was given due process and he was found guilty. And you have the current president, the father of the defendant, making it absolutely clear that he is not pardoning him, that he could have ordered at any time his Justice Department to get rid of this case. He did not do that. He has said that he is not planning on pardoning him as well. And I really think that if you look at this case, what is the big picture here? It's not a drug addict who possessed a gun for 2 weeks. It is that you have a president of the United States who is living embodiment of the rule of law, even with respect to his only living son. And you can contrast that to the former president's denigration of the rule of law every single time he is found either guilty in a criminal case or liable in a civil case, including sexual assault and fraud. He says the system's rigged against him. So I think that, to me, is the really strong contrast between the two views of the institution of the justice system, whether it's civil justice or criminal justice, that I think is speaking to me very loudly about the impact and the import of this case.